Atlanta is underwhelmed with their head coaching hire. Try being a freaking fan of the Tennessee Titans. Good morning, Metroplex. Shan, RJ, and Bobby with you on a Tolo Tuesday. As late last night, the word came out that Robert Saleh is going to be a head coach again for Cam Ward and Tennessee.
I had to go and take my notifications off on my phone to make sure this wasn't like a prank. To make this was like I was like, no, I'm gonna go. I got to install this app. This is not true. There's no way. There's no way the Titans had to rush, just like they rushed to. They had to fire Mike Vrabel to get to Brian Callahan. They had to rush to get to Robert Saleh.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You got a young quarterback. You want to have him surrounded by the best defensive coaches possible.
We got to give him love and kisses.
And look, I think Mike Florio got the text message from a current head coach that says it all. One head coach texted Mike, at this very moment, this is the worst collective of 32 owners in league history.
Oh, Sean Payton and Florio are in texting terms.
Current head coach.
I know, Sean Payton.
Oh, Sean Payton. What other jobs where you know less than the managers? That's a topic coming up in a little bit, but that's what someone texted Mike. We don't have enough candidates for all of the openings. And I asked last week, do you fire your coach because you know it's just time and then we'll worry about the replacement? Or do you have to have your replacement already picked out? And when I went and looked at the different candidates for some of these primetime jobs that are open, Baltimore and Buffalo, these are names that we've barely ever heard of. And now the Titans resort to Robert Saleh. Is this the worst collection of owners right now in the league, in sports? And how are they going about their decisions? It's fun for us. I love it, but it's chaos.
And they cast the widest net of any team we saw, where they were interviewing everybody. Jason Garrett, come on down. Mike McCarthy, you want an interview? Sure, we'll interview anybody who wants to come by here. But it is something where it makes me wonder if their good old boys network that they've created of coaches that they know that it's going to just challenge some of that. They're losing those candidates. Like, those guys are disappearing. They don't exist anymore. And they're having to dip into unknown territory now and find unknown assistant coaches or college coaches and gamble on those.
Also, if you're Saleh, you have, there's two ways to look at it from his perspective. One, I'm only getting one other head coaching job, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. So you got to take one when it comes to you. But this is a job that he will be out of this job by the next election. They're so bad. He's
a decent coach, I think. I think he could be a good head coach.
Cam Ward did start coming on, in my opinion, in the second half of the season. Maybe Cam Ward can sustain him.
Maybe, but that would lead me to all right, I want an offensive guy to kind of help him along.
Not if he's playing well. It depends on what he does with the defense. If you want the head coach to help him come along, go pick an offensive guy right now. And then Jeff Hafley is going to take over in Miami. The last two Dolphins coaches, I can't even think of the 17 before that. I just don't look at them. We keep talking about fit for the city, right? Mike McCarthy, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Maybe Mike McDaniel ended up being kind of Miami Vice. This guy in Green Bay, he does not look at just in terms of observation and judgment.
Who'd they have? They had Adam Gase before McDaniel. They had Joe Philbin.
Yeah, it was Gase, Philbin,
Brian Flores,
Sperano, Cam Cameron.
Yeah. Needed Kingsbury to go ahead and get that job. But Jeff Hafley going from Green Bay. They also got an executive from there, and people are like, hey, maybe you got a quarterback from Green Bay and Malik Willis, who revived his career. He played well.
Yeah, but I don't know that it's like I don't know that I'm that much better off with him over Tua. This is we've got Stefanski. It's fascinating to watch right now, who all's been hired. You went and got Harbaugh, who was just a culture guy and a guy who was a special teams coach before that. That's who the Giants hire. Then you get Saleh and you get Halfley. You get these defensive coaches hired. And then in Atlanta, where they actually hired an offensive coach, they hired a run game guru. They hired Kevin Stefanski. And so it's like this whole got to get the passing head coach, got to get the coach who's like the quarterback guru. That's like been thrown out the window.
Here are the other names that are just out there in the odds market. Mike McDaniel is actually the favorite in Buffalo from Bet Online.
Is that who Josh Allen's going to handpick this time?
Then you got Tomlin, who supposedly doesn't want to coach. You'd have to trade for him anyway. Dayball, Joe Brady, Flores, which some organizations may view as toxic and untouchable. Clint Kubiak, Davis Webb, Saleh and Hafley are off the board. Mike McCarthy, Anthony Weaver, Vance Joseph. It's not like we have these studs that are lined up. Now, we don't know.
You don't know about a lot. Yeah, you don't know
how it's going to work out.
Yeah, but you have a couple of guys there. I think you named 3 guys that have head coaching experience: McDaniel, McCarthy, and Vance. And Flores, sorry, 4. And it doesn't seem like teams are beating down their door outside of maybe a little bit with McDaniel. And Flores is getting interviews. But like you said, is anybody going to touch? It's going to take a certain team to want to go down the Flores route because of the lawsuit. I think Pittsburgh is that team that would be okay doing that. They just seem like they're such a strong organization. They'd be like, whatever, we can handle this.
We don't know if they'll be good coaches, like you just said. But I'm sitting here trying to think, when was the last head coaching hire that we were like, that it ended up being good? Like, I mean,
Zach Taylor. We had that reaction, and I think it's kind of played out like that.
Yeah.
They did make a Super Bowl.
Early on, it was maybe
Mike Macdonald.
I was going to say maybe Mike Macdonald. Some people were just like, okay, you're just dipping into the Raven defensive coach well. That seems odd. Like, maybe that was the last one. But it doesn't happen very often where you're like, wow, we had no idea. Honestly, like,
yeah.
Schottenheimer has not hit like that yet, but that's like that's as good as it usually gets when we're like that's questionable. As you go, oh, okay, he ended up being kind of charming.
Tom Pelissero says all signs point towards Eric Bieniemy returning to the Chiefs as their offensive coordinator. With Matt Nagy out of contract, he was a head coaching name that somehow was out there. Kansas City plans to bring back Bieniemy, who of course was on staff from 13 to 22.
Boy, that got quiet really fast. All the just like, they're trying to keep Eric Bieniemy away from coaching jobs and everything else. He got the opportunity, and then it didn't work out the way people wanted. Everybody finds their comfort back in Kansas City with Andy Reid.
Well, he didn't get the head coaching opportunity in the NFL.
No, but the play calling stuff where they're like, as soon as he's able to do that, he'll be. And then he goes to Washington, didn't work out.
So the Lions are hiring former Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing as their new OC.
People love him. The people around the league think he's really, really good.
Really? Okay, so I hadn't heard of him. I was expecting Reitman to come in here having a panic attack because I know he wanted McDaniel.
Well, he's just happy they did not get Dan Orlovsky, who Bobby put through artificial intelligence, I think, after Orlovsky said, yeah, I would like to be the offensive coordinator for the Lions.
Yeah, and they said...
there was a Jake take made on this.
I said, what would happen? Boy, when you make Jake take, that's something.
Like and subscribe.
AI said they were like, they would probably go 0-17 and finish 32nd in offense because he doesn't know how deep end zones are. So that's what AI kicked out.
Is that what AI said?
Yeah, but I literally told it to kick that out with the next question I asked, and so it did.
Perfect for the CFL.
So now San Francisco needs a defensive coordinator, and then you line up these jobs again. We did this a couple weeks ago, but you line up these openings at D.C. with what the Cowboys offer.
So the Packers now have an opening, right? Because Halfley. The Bills are going to probably most likely definitely have an opening. The Ravens have an opening. San Fran has an opening.
Man.
Pittsburgh has an opening. Who knows about Denver? Right? If Vance Joseph gets a job, Denver's got an opening. How close to the top choice are we for a defensive coordinator? I can make a case we're not even in the top 5.
This is where what Jerry does works for and against him. It can work for you in that the only reason to go ahead and take this job is you're the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to be the headlines, and you're going to have topics made about you like the Cowboys' number 3 receiver.
If you're decent, you will be on a path where teams will want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it's, he did something with the Cowboys.
Right.
Look at that.
If you're the 12th ranked defense, you'll be treated
like the
top
candidate.
5 defensive coordinator. But on the flip side, if you're the 17th ranked defense, you'll be treated like a bottom 5.
Oh, I don't know. I think you get praise from being
maybe 20th.
awful to mediocre.
If you're 20th, you'd be treated like, you know what I mean? Just, I guess comparatively speaking to last year.
Yeah, coming off of last year. Look at the improvement. He's made them a playoff contender because you have the offense to go along with it. And then the downside of what Jerry does is, look at the talent here that the general manager put on the football field, and then all the chaos and noise if you get lit up for 35 with Stephen A. Smith wearing his hat, smoking a cigar, and making fun of you.
Yeah, now I don't think they're going to go 6 coordinators in 6 years or whatever it is. So that's the other upside of this, is that if you get hired here, you probably have the job for a little bit too.
Well, Eberflus just went one and done.
Well, that's what I just said. I don't think they can do it again. I think they'll be like, this has got to work. So you're going to get at least 2 years, I would imagine. But no, it's what comes with it, right? That's what you're being sold on. You're being sold less on the personnel. You're being sold more on the prestige of, you're a Dallas Cowboy and what comes with that.
Fallout with Sean McDermott getting fired in Buffalo. Wade Phillips maybe with the tweet of the day saying, I was very surprised that the Bills fired their head coach after a playoff loss. And then he signed his own tweet, Wade Phillips.
Yeah, you deserved that, though. When you got fired, you deserved that, you dumbass, for starting Rob Johnson over Doug Flutie in the playoff game. You had that coming, Wade, years ago.
The Miracle, Music City Miracle?
Yeah, Music City Miracle. He had that coming. I don't know if we'll get into it again later. That damn ESPN story that was talking about Josh Allen's the one why Brandon Beane gets the promotion. Josh Allen is why Sean McDermott is out. All right, if you're that in charge over there, then you're responsible for all your failings. And then if you're the one now bumping up your general manager who sucks at picking players, well, that sounds like a you problem, Josh.